Hi, second grade. It's Miss Jen. Did you forget about me? I haven't forgot about you guys. I missed you guys in the St. Patrick Library. It's been a while since I've seen you. So I wanted to share a book with you before our time at school is officially over. So being at home, I was going through some of my stuff and I came upon this book. This book is a book I read when I was little. So it's old. But it's called Euphonia and the Flood by Mary Calhoun, pictures by Taback. This book is old, like I said, and I read it when I was little. So on the cover, you see Euphonia. She's the main character, so she's there, Euphonia. And you see a pig with her, and they're in water, and she's got a broom, and it's stormy. And I'm going to share this book with you because it was one of my very favorites growing up. I loved all the pictures. And I'm going to probably stay a little longer on the pictures when I show you because there's so many interesting things in each picture. I have no idea if you can even buy this book. I have no clue. But Euphonia and the Flood. The book is falling apart. It's old. This is the title page. Euphonia and the Flood. You see the boat here. And I wrote my name in it, which you should not write. Probably you shouldn't write your name in any books, but unless they're yours, and obviously this was mine, so it's okay. But I wrote Jenny there. You can see my handwriting. I also wrote Jennifer. I don't know why I spelled my name like that, but I also wrote my name in the front of that book. So I was little. One time, there was an old woman named Euphonia who had a broom, a pig, and a boat. The broom's name was Briskly, the pig's name was Fatly, and the boat's name was Marianne. And there they are. So we see Marianne the boat, we see Briskly the broom, Euphonia, and there's Fatly up there. Euphonia always said, "If a thing is worth doing, it's worth doing well." So the broom swept briskly, the pig lived fatly, and the boat floated very nicely, thank you. As for Euphonia, she did well by every living soul who came up her door path. But one time, a flood came up her door path. All kinds of water sashaying out of the creek banks. Water. It whipped and swashed around until it came right through Euphonia's front door. So there are the pictures. And you see Fatly in the window eating. And Briskly brooming. And then there's the flood coming to her doorstep. "For a flood," she said, "that creek is doing right well. But we can't just sit here hollering for help. We'll go and see where all the flood water is a-rushing to." So the old woman packed Briskly and Fatly into Marianne, untied the boat, and pushed off down the creek. "Row, Fatly," said Euphonia. Here are the pictures. There's all kinds of fun things to see inside the flood. I used to love looking at the pictures. Maybe you guys can let me know sometime what you see in there. A man in a bed, a lamp, cake. The pig took the oars and he rowed fatly. Euphonia took the broom and she swept the floodwaters briskly, keeping the tree boughs and trash from bumping into the boat. Marianne, well, she floated very nicely, thank you. And they all streamed down the creek, neat as needles, without snagging up on anything. Euphonia smiled and said, "If a thing is worth doing, it's worth doing well." There's more of them in the flood. The more interesting things to find in the flood. But before long, she saw a skunk scramble onto a tiny island and just sit there sopping wet. "Safe at last!" cried the skunk. "Safe nothing," said Euphonia. "Creek's on the rise, and what are you going to eat? Sitting there on that mud hump, maybe for days? Better pile in with us." So there's more stuff in the flood, and we see the skunk up here on his rock. Well, the old woman caught onto the mud hump with briskly and held the boat there. "I'm better off than I was," insisted the skunk, patting the mud with his paws and staying put. "Silly skunk!" exclaimed Euphonia. "You'll either starve or drown. Lean over, fatly." The pig leaned over fatly, and Euphonia swept the skunk briskly across the pig's back onto the boat. Marianne, she floated very nicely, thank you. "There," said Euphonia. "If a thing is worth doing, it's worth doing well." So there she is, getting the skunk into the boat, helping him along. He's climbing on his back. The skunk shook himself good, so they all got wet, and the boatload of them popped on down the creek flood. The pages are a little ripped too. All kinds of things you can see in the flood. A floating ice cream cone. Pretty soon, the old woman saw 3 chickens squatting on a piece of henhouse roof. Roof was floating in a backwater of the flood. "You can't go nor come, paddling around back there," called Euphonia. But the chickens clucked. We're better off than we were." "Shiftless chickens," exclaimed Euphonia. "If you're going to be in a flood, you might as well see the flood, where it's a-going. Why, you could even row that henhouse roof with your wings. Pull over there, fatly." So the pig pulled over there, fatly, and with the broom, the old woman hitched Marianne's rope briskly to the henhouse roof. Then they all scooted on down the creek, boatload of them, with the 3 chickens in tow. So there are the 3 chickens on their henhouse. And there she's going to tie a string to them and have them float on down the flood with them. Well, the chickens, they fluttered and squawked about their fast ride on the flood, but Euphonia only smiled. If a thing is worth doing, it's worth doing well." So there they are. You can see sheet music, another piece of cake, bike tires, hats, clucking chickens, eggs rolling off. The book is falling apart. By and by, they came to a bear. Old Bear, he was thrashing about in the flood, clinging to a tree branch and shouting, "Help! Help!" But when he saw all that shebang a-swarming down the creek at him, boat, pig, skunk, old woman, and broom, plus a henhouse roof full of chickens, the bear cried, "Keep away! Keep away!" Euphonia called back, "We're your help! Climb right on in with us!" But the bear paddled up a great splash, crying, "I'm better off alone. A tree branch, it'll save me." "Blithery bear!" exclaimed Euphonia. "A boat is better than a branch. Catch up, Fatly." So the pig caught up Fatly, and the old woman broomed the bear and his tree branch briskly into the boat. Old Bear, he settled his bottom in one end, and he liked that solid spot there. Mary Ann sank a little lower in the water where the bear sat, but still, she floated very nicely, thank you. So there's the boat, there's the bear caught on the branch. And there he is, getting in. There, Euphonia smiled and said, "If a thing is worth doing, it's worth doing well." And they all sashayed on down the creek, boat and broom, old woman and pig, skunk and bear holding on to his branch, with the chickens on their henhouse roof squawking along behind. So there they all go down the flood. More interesting things to see in the flood. Cereal boxes and games. Right about that time, the whole scramble of them came around a bend and found out exactly where the floodwater was a-going to. Farmer Stump's mill pond. That pond, it was spread out to a fare-thee-well all over the hollow. Bobbing on the water was every kind of animal riding out the flood. Squirrels on branches, rabbits on logs, hop toads on big leaves, and up ahead, the flood tipped over into a waterfall. So you see all the animals holding on to all their logs. You see animals on logs here. And there's the waterfall. "Far enough!" Euphonia called out. "Fatly, pull for shore." So the pig pulled Fatly for shore. There, on the high ground, Farmer Stump had set up food tables for all the folks who had come floating down in the flood. When she spied that, Euphonia said, "Now you see where the flood water was a-going? To a picnic, that's where. And we'd have missed it sure if we just stayed back home hollering for help. Very nicely done, Mary Ann. Thank you." Okay, so they finally arrive at the end of the flood, and there's a big table celebration. And there's the Farmer Stump. So they all climbed ashore and stomped their feet on the good high ground. The bear ate honey and biscuits. The skunk ate apple pie. The chickens ate cornbread, and the pig ate fatly of all of that, plus turnips too. Look, all big giant feast for everybody. And they all look pretty happy. As for Euphonia, she did well by every living soul that bobbed by her on the mill pond. She broomed them out briskly, because, she said, "If a thing is worth doing, it is worth doing well." There she is. The end. Euphonia and the flood. If a thing is worth doing, it's worth doing well. That's a good lesson. If you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability. Why not? All right, second grade, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.